Hello. Hello, my plant. What are you doing? Will you eat some snacks with me? No? You never eat? Okay. Will you drink some juice with me? You never eat? You never drink? Why? Because you're a plant? Oh. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We are here. We will start our lecture today on photosynthesis. Why plants never eat and drink? Because they do photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is making food in the presence of sunlight. Photo means light and synthesis means make. Plants make their food in light with absorbing water from roots and absorbing carbon dioxide from air. What do they make after photosynthesis? They make glucose and oxygen. Wow, lovely. And they're not only making food for themselves, they're making food for us as well. So today what we will understand the process of photosynthesis. We will identify the key components involved in photosynthesis. We will recall an applied equation for photosynthesis, and we will demonstrate the ability to analyze and interpret data related to photosynthesis. Okay, and how I will assess you. Have you got my points? Have you got the lecture? I will check you by solving your review questions 1 and 2, by the visual representation that you will draw on your index, and by sharing and raising questions. So are you ready with your questions? Let's move on to our next part. Okay. See, this is a plants. What is this picture showing? Photosynthesis. Okay, it's a plant. The roots of a plant, this plant absorb water. This water gets in the presence of sunlight, water, and these leaves have small tiny pores, okay, on the underside of their structure. These pores absorb carbon dioxide. See, carbon dioxide. Where is carbon dioxide present? In the air. Air is getting in this leaf. Water has already been in this leaf in the presence of sunlight, and in the leaf there is a green color pigment in the plant cells which make food for plant. What happens in photosynthesis? By combining carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight, leaves make oxygen and sugar. Now I want to make this situation, this new concept, easy for you. Let's move to our PPT. See, this plant is growing. You can see here. This plant is growing. This is a small seed. Hey, no photosynthesis going on. The roots are starting. Very soon, very soon, the leaves will rise as well from the seed. See? It's growing. What do plants need to grow well? We are discussing today. Now 2 leaves will arise. These leaves are green. Why these leaves are green? It's very important. All the seeds are growing and their leaves will be green because they have a green colored pigment called chlorophyll that is very important in the making of food. What do you know that? Photosynthesis. Do you remember that term? Photosynthesis. Photo means light, synthesis means make. Okay, now plant is growing. Its shoots are rising. I think it's grown enough to give some flower. To give some flower. It's blooming. And this is all happening because it is photosynthesizing. To carry on all the life processes, it has to do photosynthesis. Okay, right? See, this will go on and lovely. It will make food as well for us. Now we'll move to our next slide. Plants make food by using sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. So what are the raw materials for photosynthesis? Sunlight, air, water. What does sunlight give? Sunlight gives energy for the process of photosynthesis. And what is air giving? Air is giving carbon dioxide to the plant. And what is water giving? Water is giving mineral salts and water to the plant. What happens in photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide from air and water from soil or from roots are made into glucose and oxygen in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay, do you get all this? Water is absorbed, sunlight is absorbed, carbon dioxide is also absorbed, and photosynthesis. That's why always this happens, that plants are always standing in front of sunlight. Now there is a funny picture I want to show you. There's a funny picture. I want to show you the funny picture. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, this boy is standing in sunlight and he's saying that I can photosynthesize. But instead of making food, he's looking red. His class fellow is saying, what happened to you? Why you are not making food? It's even you looking red. Because he does not have chlorophyll. We do not have chlorophyll. That's why we cannot do photosynthesis. And plants can do photosynthesis because they have chlorophyll and they have stomata to absorb oxygen. They have roots to absorb water and do photosynthesis. Okay, it's not always that the leaves are doing photosynthesis. Sometimes the stem also do photosynthesis. Okay, now what happens here? What happens here? This is the underside of a leaf. Can you see the bubbles? These are the bubbles that are made due to oxygen. From where the oxygen is made? These plants are making oxygen for us. See, again, I'm repeating the same process. The process is carbon dioxide from air is absorbed through stomata. Water from the roots is combined in the leaves of a plant in the presence of sunlight. And what is made? What is made? See, these are the leaves. From the underside of the leaves, there are the guard cells. These are the pores, which are called stoma. Their plural is stomata, okay? These small pores absorb carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide enter in these cells. These cells have this special structure called chloroplast. Chloroplast has chlorophyll and the process of photosynthesis occurs here. Now we are moving back to our PPT. Okay. The same way I will tell you what is happening. Site of photosynthesis is leaf or any green part area where chlorophyll is present and where the cells have chloroplast. Okay, carbon dioxide enters and water, and what are these? Stomata. Carbon dioxide enter through these stomata and get into the cell, and these cells have chloroplast where photosynthesis occurs. Now one by one we will study. Water is absorbed from root. One raw material for photosynthesis is water that is absorbed from root and is now in the xylem and is given to every plant cell. Now, carbon dioxide is entering through guard cells through stoma. This water molecule and carbon dioxide will combine together in this plant cell, and what will be made? Glucose and oxygen. This glucose will move to phloem and will be given to all parts of the plants, and food will be made. Food is made in the form of glucose. This glucose can be further stored in the form of starch. The oxygen that is produced escapes from this stomata, and so plants not only make food for themselves, they are storing food for us as well. Let me show you how they store food for us. See, whenever plants are doing photosynthesis, the excess of glucose that is made in photosynthesis is stored in the form of starch. Okay, how this is stored? In the rice plant, this excess starch is stored in the form of rice. This excess starch is stored in the form of sweet potato in roots, in stem. These carrots that we eat are actually the excess starch made by photosynthesis and are stored in roots. The excess potato starch of potato plant are stored in stem. The excess starch of banana plant is stored in bananas. Okay, so all the food that we eat, just the meat and other things, except that meat and other things, we are actually eating the food that is made by these plants. So plants not only make food for themselves, they make food for all the living organisms as well. That's why they're called autotrophs and producers. Now we're going back to our PPT. Okay. Now, what is the proof that photosynthesis is occurring? Yes. See, I have taken money plant. Money plant has leaf that has green part as well as white part. Okay. So, the white part doesn't have chlorophyll, but the green part has chlorophyll. So, whenever the leaf will be doing photosynthesis, suppose the photosynthesis is occurring in the green part, there is another point which I want to clear here. The plant, there are many plants like maple tree, like Tridescantia, they can make their food, but they are orange and purple in color, like the leaf. This leaf is purple in color from the middle and green in color from the boundary. So these both are chlorophyll. Now chlorophyll can not only be green, it can be purple. Okay. So chlorophyll has three types: chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C. These all pigments do photosynthesis. What do? They are expert in combining carbon dioxide and water to form glucose and oxygen. Oxygen is very important that they make during photosynthesis. We respire. That's why plants are called the lungs of earth. We are coming back to our previous slide. What is the proof that plants are photosynthesizing? There is a chemical test that can prove. We have studied right now that if a plant is doing photosynthesis, it makes glucose. Excess glucose is stored in the form of starch. This starch becomes bluish black in the presence of iodine. So we can test whether this plant has done photosynthesis or not. We will take the leaf, we will boil it, we will then take that leaf and put iodine on this leaf, and we will see the result. See, we will see the result. The green parts have done photosynthesis. The black part, the green part that has now changed into blackish brown. Iodine is telling that it has done photosynthesis. So what this test is telling us? Iodine test. Iodine changes into bluish black when starch is there. So the test of photosynthesis is iodine. We have studied here that chlorophyll can not only be green, it can be of other colors because there are 3 types of chlorophyll, A as well, B as well, C as well. And they all are expert in making food. So never forget the equation. What is the equation? Carbon dioxide from the air, water from the soil and roots are combined in leaf factory where chloroplasts are present and have chlorophyll. The pigment can be green or purple or other colors. In the presence of sunlight, make food and oxygen. Excess food, excess glucose is stored in the form of starch and excess oxygen escapes from stomata and we respire. Now, what you are going to do, I have a work for you. I'm giving you index card. Draw the photosynthesis process and complete the photosynthesis equation. Right now, I will help you to show how photosynthesis equation is here. Can you see? Can you see here? Okay. See, this is a plant. See, it is very clear. Plant absorb carbon dioxide and water. This red process showing photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. It makes glucose and oxygen. Okay, right? Now, I'm students, I'm giving you this exit slip. Exit slip will be solved at the end. But right now, I'm just giving you an idea how I'm going to test you. This will be the exit slip in which you will label this plant, what is entering and what is going out in photosynthesis and what is the equation of photosynthesis. Okay. Now, right now we will do some questions as well. Okay. See, this is the review question. We have studied all about photosynthesis. Now we will solve the question. Number 1 is complete the table below to show what plant need to grow well. Oh, you know, I know you all know. There are many factors. There are many factors that are needed by plant to grow well. The topmost is light. What light does? It gives. What light does? What light does? It gives light energy for the. It gives light energy for photosynthesis. Now we have to guess this. We have to guess this by guessing what these 4 characters are of which thing that are needed by plant. Okay. This is the riddle. Okay. In photosynthesis, there is a factor that is the raw material for photosynthesis. Do you have any idea what is that? Okay. Think about it. Think about it. It keeps the plant firm. See? It keeps the plant firm. Okay. You can see in this bottle as well. What is that thing? You will be guessing it. It transports materials. It dissolves minerals in food and it is essential for life process. So what it can be? It will be water. You will write by yourself the answers. Okay, carbon dioxide. What is carbon dioxide? It is the raw material for photosynthesis. Now, what is oxygen? Oxygen is needed by plant for respiration. Okay, now for healthy growth, Plants need some khad. What do you say that khad? Minerals as well to grow well. Okay. This is done. This question number 1 will be solved by you easily. Now, question number 2 is correct the following misconceptions. Plants take in food from soil. No. What is the correct answer? Plants make food in the presence of water, sunlight, and air. Okay? Right statement will be this. Only the leaves of the plants can carry out photosynthesis. No way. You have seen the cactus. Cactus can make food. Cactus can do photosynthesis, but its leaves are not too big. Its stem is doing the process. So, all green parts of the plant can carry out photosynthesis. Only plants with green leaves can make food. No. Its answer is plants with chlorophyll. That can be chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and chlorophyll C can make food because chlorophyll B and C are not green colored. Now, plants make food in the form of starch during photosynthesis. This is wrong. Starch, no. Plants make food in the form of glucose during photosynthesis. Now, E part is roots of plants are organs for feeding. No. Roots of plants, you can see here, roots of plants absorb water for plants. Okay. Now, soil is necessary for plant growth. No. Water and minerals are necessary for plant growth. See our table. Do you remember? Light, water, carbon dioxide, oxygen, and minerals are needed for it. Now we will move to our last part of the lesson. We are studying here photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is an equation. You can write this whole photosynthesis in the form of equation, and the equation is 6 carbon dioxide molecules and 6 water molecules combined to form glucose and oxygen. Okay. Now this equation is called photosynthesis chemical equation. I want to explain this again. This equation is telling you the carbon dioxide is the gas that plants take in from the air. This water is absorbed through roots. And what is made? Glucose. See? Glucose. C6H12O6. The sugar produced by plants for energy. And this is changed into, yes, starch. This is changed into starch and is stored in the form of sometimes rice, sometimes potatoes, sometimes mango. There are many foods that we get from plants. Okay. And oxygen. It is released into air as a byproduct. And what is that pore through which this is released? This is the same pore that is found underside the leaves, and that pore is called stomata that absorb carbon dioxide as well. Now, we have done review questions. I have given you index card as well so that you can write your question if you have any. You can take your time to raise questions, any question if you have, because I have also raised many questions for you. See, now at the wrap up, what we are going to do, I'm again explaining you what is happening in photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, plants make food and oxygen in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. They absorb water from the roots and sunlight and light energy from sunlight, and in the presence of chlorophyll that they have, they make food for us. They make glucose and oxygen, right? Now, if you have any question, you can put in the comments bar I will upload this video in the YouTube. After this, you have today we have studied page number 54 till 57, and we have done review question number 1 and 2. What you have to do, you have to practice the key points of photosynthesis. You have to write all the important factors that are needed for photosynthesis. Then you will practice a lot about the photosynthesis equation, and then you will write photosynthesis equation in your journal, and then you will draw the diagram as well. Right now, I'm giving you 5 minutes to complete this. Okay, let me give you some idea as well. What will come here? Solar energy, sunlight. What will come here? Carbon dioxide. What will come here? Water. And then what will happen here? Due to photosynthesis, what will be made here? Glucose and the oxygen will be released. So in this first will come carbon dioxide, water. This is the equation which we will write. Carbon dioxide plus water plus sunlight, and what is made? Glucose and oxygen. Okay. Now we will move to our PPT again. I will end my lecture again, the same thing, carbon dioxide from the air and water from the soil, from the roots. In the presence of sunlight, leaves do photosynthesis and make glucose and oxygen for us. This is all photosynthesis. Okay. This is the factory, the special design that all leaves have to do photosynthesis. Thanks to you all for listening this all video. I hope that you have understood all my concepts, that what is absorbed from roots and carbon dioxide absorbed through the underside of the stomata, and they are combined. Water and carbon dioxide are combined and they form glucose plus oxygen. That's all for today. Allah Hafiz. Take care.